Okay, we are going to continue learning about cells. All living organisms on Earth are made up of microscopic structures called cells. There are many types of cells. Some organisms are unicellular, while other organisms, including humans, are multicellular. Cells generally share a similar structure. Cell structure. Cells consist of smaller pieces called organelles. Organelles are like the organs of a cell. They are groups of complex molecules that help cells survive. Cell membrane, cell wall, cytoplasm, vacuole, mitochondrion, endoplasmic reticulum, nucleus, and chloroplast are examples of organelles. Here is a picture of a plant cell and an animal cell. As you can see, they have very similar parts. Cytoplasm is a suspension fluid that houses the other organelles. The cell membrane, or plasma membrane, acts as a boundary layer around the cytoplasm, thus separating cells from their outside environments. In addition to being able to recognize chemical signals, the cell membrane is selectively permeable to chemicals and controls which molecules enter and leave the cell. Nutrients first enter the cell through the cell membrane. The cell wall is a secretion of the cell membrane. It provides protection from physical injury, and with the vacuole, it provides structural support. A vacuole stores water and ingested food in a fluid sac. It also removes waste from cells and produces turgor pressure against the cell wall for cellular support. Other membrane organelles, known as lysosomes, contain enzymes specialized to break down ingested materials, secretions, and wastes. These wastes and other materials may then be processed and transported out of the cell by the Golgi apparatus. In addition to playing an important role in waste disposal, the Golgi apparatus also processes, sorts, and modifies proteins in cells. The nucleus is like the brain of the cell. It contains chromosomal information on chromatin. The chromatin is composed of long, thin strands of DNA, which contains instructions that control cell metabolism and heredity. Ribosomes are RNA and protein complexes that are found in all cells. These complexes help cells during protein translation by joining amino acids together to form polypeptides. Mitochondria act like a stomach for the cell. They take in nutrients, break them down, and create energy for the cell. Chloroplasts are the food producers in a plant cell. The endoplasmic reticulum transports chemicals between and within cells. It is important to note that all cells do not always have all the organelles. Many organic and inorganic substances dissolved in cells allow chemical reactions that are necessary to maintain life to take place. Large organic food molecules, such as proteins and starches, must initially be broken down or digested into amino acids and simple sugars, respectively. These smaller particles are then able to enter the cell through the processes of diffusion and active transport. Once nutrients enter a cell, the cell will use them as building blocks for other compounds that are necessary for life. Plant cells and animal cells contain different cellular structures. For example, plant cells possess a cell wall and chloroplasts. Animal cells never contain these structures. Plant cells also always contain large vacuoles. Some animal cells also have vacuoles, but the vacuoles in animal cells are much smaller than those found in plant cells. Single-celled and multi-celled organisms. All living things contain at least one cell. Cells contain everything that is necessary for life. Cells have a variety of parts, and each part has a different set of functions. Cells may be part of a multicellular organism, or they may be single-celled organisms. Single-celled organisms. Single-celled organisms may live alone or as part of a colony. For single-celled organisms, each cell by itself can get food and air. Many single-celled organisms can move themselves through their environments. Single-celled organisms can reproduce themselves, although some do reproduce sexually. Single-celled organisms include protozoa. The image on the left is a single-cell protozoan. Its internal structure is visible. The image on the right shows two different kinds of protozoans. So this is a single protozoan, and you can see its internal structure. And this is two different kinds of protozoans. Multicellular organisms. Multicellular organisms may have many different kinds of cells. Each kind has its own purpose and is specially designed to carry it out. Cells for multicellular organisms cannot survive on their own. The cells must work together in order to get food and air and to help the organism reproduce. Multicellular organisms may be very small, made up of only a few cells, or very large, made up of millions and trillions of cells. Trillions and trillions of cells. Examples of multicellular organisms include the tiny mite shown below on the left and the algae shown below on the right.